the show.
Hey Ben, how's it going today? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you again, Adam. Looking forward to having you on the show and chatting through all things power and Bitcoin mining. Uh, I'd actually like to maybe start with, we've been in a bear market for quite a while now, and some people view bear markets as opportunities. Some people view a bear market as like, oh no, what am I going to do? How are you viewing this bear market? Is this an opportunity for you guys at Simple Mining, or walk us through that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of kind of conversations around this, internally, and just a lot of clients and others just reach out to us about this, and bear markets can be very, very scary, and for us, it's certainly an opportunity. This is a great time for us. We've been continuing to build out our facilities. We just recently opened our second facility at the end of last year, and just a great opportunity for us to really refine our processes, expanding our repair facility, and just really dialing in, all of our operations. So we think of it as a massive opportunity, um, and we're really excited to continue building.
It's good to hear. I figured as much. I just having seen how you guys operate and how you guys work, I figured that, but always just curious to get your take on it. And maybe to back up there, why don't you walk us through your background? Your serial entrepreneur. I'd love to hear, some of your background and then how that background led you into Bitcoin mining.
Sure. So, to keep a long story short, I kind of got started off in my entrepreneurial journey in the software repair side. Been fixing phones in high school, and did the college route for a little bit. Ended up dropping out. Opened my own self repair business, and then scaled that to. We have 8 locations across the Midwest now. Started getting into Bitcoin. We were kind of dabbling with the repairs because there wasn't many places that would do the repairs on these machines, and we'd been doing all the board level, component level repair on phones, tablets, computers, and all that good stuff. So started dabbling with repairs. Actually got started on the mining side of things, our own self mining with some GPU miners in the back of one of our stores. We had a pretty good setup in the back of one of our stores there. So kind of started there, and then very, very quickly realized Bitcoin was going to be went down the rabbit hole, um, and really decided that that was what we wanted to do, was Bitcoin mining. So kind of started to expand with some ASICs, and then started our own facility. And when we started our own facility, we really thought, there's a really good opportunity to offer a great service for hosting. There's obviously lots of other providers out there and lots of other options. But we thought we could offer a really great service, at a very fair price, and just with all the other value that we provide with the repair side of things. We just thought that there might be an opportunity there. So we started offering hosting as well, in addition to our own self mining. And yeah, that's kind of the story of how we got into that.
I love the fact that you started mining through GPUs in the back of one of your stores. That that's pretty cool. And then I'm guessing, was all the repairs then self-taught? I mean, was this just you guys already playing around and repairing cell phones, like you said, at kind of that chip and board level? So was all of the repair on the GPUs and the ASICs, was that self-taught?
Yeah, for the most part. Bitmain does offer, they used to offer a certification on repair. They recently just removed that, to my knowledge. So there was some assistance from Bitmain, but a lot of this is self-taught. There's very, very, very little resources, especially good resources. I mean, a lot of the resources you can find in Chinese or Russian, or just very, very poor documentation for repair. So yeah, I'd say 90% of everything is also self-taught by our technicians. Our CTO Lucas, I mean, he's an absolute beast. He's very, very good problem solver, and
Yeah.
has been doing this for a very long time. So he's critical aspect of our team. So yeah, it's been certainly lots of trial and error, but we've got certainly some pretty good processes and training down internally for our repair facility.
Yeah, and I think the repair, and you touched on it too. I think the repair side of this is really what helps you guys differentiate and stand out. And a little bit later on in the conversation, I do want to go deeper into like how simple mining is really raising that bar in the hosting space. So we'll come back to that.
Sure.
So you went from back of the store to, hey, this is really, we see the trajectory of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, went all in and started up your first site. Could you maybe touch on that transition? Who did you, go to? How many doors did you have to knock on to find that first site? Maybe just kind of walk us through the journey from back of your store to, your first big site.
Yeah. So it was definitely a process, that's for sure. So once we kind of decided that that was the direction we wanted to go, um, finding the you know finding that amount of power at the cost you need to be able to do it at is not an easy task. I mean, there's very overall limited you know, areas in where you can do this, especially cost effective. So it's not like you can just pop up a building wherever and just plug some miners in. There's a lot more that goes into it. So yeah, it was a process. We had, kind of been just started making calls left and right, different utility companies, ones that were close by, far away, and had some really good initial conversations with our first facilities, Cedar Falls Utilities Power Plant in Cedar Falls, and we had some great conversations with them, and we were able to kind of negotiate a deal. And yeah, our first facility is on their power plant, so spun that facility up. That's been operating now for a year and a half now. Um, and yeah, it was a very long process there. There's kind of a short condensed version of it, but yeah, lots of phone calls, lots of legal, all the hoops and stuff that you have to jump through. But yeah, we knew that we
Yeah.
wanted to have our own facility. And yeah.
Yeah. What I wanted to jump in and ask you was, having to make so many calls, what was some of the feedback? I would imagine it's such a new industry.
Yep.
When you call a power company and say, "Hey, I want to do Bitcoin mining
Yep.
on your grid," what were you hearing from people? Like, what was the typical response to
Yeah,
that?
there was it really does come down to, so I'd say kind of the culture at each individual utility company. So, we certainly got yeah, we can do that. This is what it is, and it's pretty black and white answer, or no, we're not interested. You can imagine sort of the kind of thoughts going through their mind when we were, hey, you want to come mine Bitcoin? Do you have it? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
very definitely new, very new situation, for a utility company. But CFUs, they really, I think they really pride themselves on innovation. They are, just a great company overall to work with. Been very, very happy with our partnership with them. They are one of the most innovative utility companies, I'd say, probably in the entire country. Uh, from their uptime and their power and their costs, and the data side of things with the internet. I mean, their reliability is second to none in the entire country. So it's been a great partnership. It was very actually easy working with them. They worked with several great engineers there who were very open minded, and yeah, we had some really great conversations. Um, it still took a little bit of time to sort through everything, but yeah, once you can find a utility company that's open-minded and willing to have those conversations, it definitely makes the process much, much easier.
And so I'm making an assumption here that
Mhm.
you were not like a Bitcoin mining expert or a like large electrical infrastructure expert at the time that you did get in touch with Cedar Falls. And
Mhm.
were they were they able to help you and walk you through that, or did you really do a lot of homework on the front end before going in and asking for,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that
By
relationship?
no means was I an expert in, large scale electrical infrastructure at that time, and still not now. They did have, done some homework and had kind of, I'd say, the basics down and whatnot as far as, what we wanted to do from like a container design standpoint and, what we needed to make this all work. But as far as the really intricate details, I mean, that's above my head. So yeah, we had a great group of engineers at CFU that were really able to help us, and their team did a great job at helping put everything together, and this is what you're going to need, and X Y Z. So that was yeah, really helpful at the time, and certainly I've learned a lot since then. But yeah, still learning more every single day.
Yeah, it's so cool. What's cool about that is that they were not only were they open to it, but then they were willing to get their engineers involved to really help that come to fruition. So I'm curious about like the economics of this from a power provider standpoint. Was the conversation with Cedar Falls more around, hey, we're going to be, a large load customer for you, and we can offer, some other benefits to your grid? Could you maybe talk through like what was appealing to Cedar Falls?
Yeah, and it's gonna, the agreements are definitely gonna vary, company to company, utility company,
Sure.
hosting company. Everybody's gonna have, a little bit different, agreements overall. But the base case is always going to be extremely similar. It's always going to come down to the curtailment side of things. So the curtailment aspect was very appealing to them. They can help manage their load on the very, essentially on the peak days. So, talk about the hottest days of the year, the coldest days of the year, and just managing that is a really big benefit to the utility company to be able to manage their load. So that was certainly far and away the most appealing aspect, and that's going to be the case for any utility as well. As just that curtailment, the load shedding, control piece. So.
Yeah. And so maybe they didn't, but did Cedar Falls have any point of concern about the operation at all?
You know, um, I
And
yeah,
I'm only asking as if like, were there some points of friction that you guys were able to work through to make it come together?
yeah. I don't think so. I'm sure in the back of their mind, this is very much probably a pilot program, and oh well, Bitcoin mining. We'll see how it goes. We'll give it a shot, more or less.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I think it's definitely been my expectations, their expectations, I think have, certainly exceeded that from our first facility and with our growth and everything. So, yeah, they've been very happy with everything so far and, certainly looking to, continue growing.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe turning the focus onto like the infrastructure piece of it. Were there pretty major upgrades that needed to happen? So I mean, again, for the audience and for people, please go check out Simple Mining. You guys are very transparent about your operation and everything. You guys are super unique. You are on the power plant.
Yeah.
So was there like infrastructure upgrades that had to happen? What had to happen at the site?
Not much. There's a substation located on the power plant, so that's overall a little bit of groundwork and this and that, but for the most part, everything we needed was already there. So no, not too not anything too crazy by any means. So
And then you guys just had to come in with your own transformers, I would imagine, and cabling and things like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's it's so unique, and I say that because I having had some conversations with different power companies kind of throughout the Midwest. It's not every day that you find the power plant with the substation that can handle loads like that. So it's very cool, very unique. And as you mentioned at the beginning, you guys are always looking to continue growing. This bear market's kind of providing that opportunity to grow and to build. how are some of the conversations going with other power companies, or is the second site you guys have with the same Cedar Falls?
Yeah, so it's a different utility provider there. That was another just really good opportunity. That was something that we didn't want to pass up. Good location, fit all of our needs, very easy to go there, and turnkey. So we're at about 2 megawatts at that particular facility currently, and looking to continue to expand that. They've also been a fantastic partner to work with and continue to grow with. So yeah, they're a different provider, but very, very, happy with them. Pretty similar overall mindset as far as being open-minded. To Bitcoin mining, and yeah, very, excited to be working with them as well.
Are you finding that these power companies now are starting to, maybe they've heard of Bitcoin a time or two now, and they're starting to kind of loosen up to the conversation a little bit more? Or is it still, you had to knock on like 30 doors just to find this second site?
Yeah, I'd say they're certainly getting more open to it. I'd say by now most utility providers and whatnot have probably heard of Bitcoin mining, if they haven't been living under a rock. So I'd say those conversations are certainly getting easier, but at the same time, it's still a fairly new concept, especially depending on, like I said, the culture of that particular company. Some are going to be very, very old school, and that's going to be a hard conversation. Some are going to be much more open-minded, and that's, obviously going to make it quite a bit easier. So overall, I'd say it's definitely trending in the right direction, though.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm finding similar, where it's more conversations are turning into more of like, oh yeah, we've heard of it. We understand you're a large load. We understand that you can offer some flexibility with your curtailment. Yeah, it's definitely, the conversations are starting to be more like that, at least in the beginning. And then what I'm finding is it's more, bridging the gap around like lead times. So are you seeing and hearing and experiencing like long lead times when looking at expanding?
Yeah, certainly that is, especially when you start looking at, large scale, like, 10 megawatts plus. I mean, if you're looking at upgrading substations or, XYZ, whatever it may be, that it's extremely long lead times for some of that really, really large electrical infrastructure. There's just really no way around that at this point in time, unfortunately. You got to have it, and it's going to take a long time to get it. So, things are, certainly getting much better than they were, 6 months to a year ago. But it's probably going to continue to be pretty long lead times for some of those major pieces that you need at a large scale.
And is that something that you guys entertain? So, they come back to you and say, hey, we'd love to partner with you guys. We'd love to have your business on our grid, but it's going to take a year to, a year and a couple months to get you online. I mean, is that appealing to you guys, or are you guys like, oh, let's maybe talk in a year from now?
Yeah, it's conversations that we're having. Certainly for us, we're very much trying to deploy, sooner rather than later. We want to continue to underpromise and overdeliver. It's a big thing for our company, and we want to have space available so that we can get you plugged in right away. We don't want to be waiting on, major infrastructure, and then have delays and this and that, which we've seen kind of industry wide. And to no fault of your own, delays happen. But again, we really just want to underpromise and overdeliver. So it's conversations that we're having, but we're really looking for space and capacity that's available now.
Sure. Are you guys looking outside of Iowa at all?
Not
Or is it
currently.
like you're trying to keep this kind of in your
Yeah,
home
we're,
state?
we're very happy with Iowa. Iowa offers a lot of different things that are very unique. Just a few quick points. So in Iowa, the data processing equipment is sales tax exempt, and also the electricity consumption associated with data processing equipment is also sales tax exempt. So there's some cost savings there. Iowa's the number one state as far as wind power production goes, so it helps keep our cost lower, which is really nice. And yeah, just been very happy with, building here in Iowa. We want to continue to build here in Iowa and, maybe in the future, but for now we're really excited to continue building here in Iowa.
That's cool. So I actually didn't know the piece on the power consumption either in terms of taxes.
Mhm.
That's unique to the state. I know that some of the states, like South Dakota, was working on some tax incentives actually specifically for Bitcoin mining. The language in that was for Bitcoin mining. Um, North Dakota's got some stuff. I think the verbiage on it is that it's technically data center, but they have tax incentives up there. And then I think I saw there was some state that just came out with a like a right to mine act. So it's cool to see some of the states incentivizing. I'm sure Iowa didn't intend for Bitcoin mining, but you guys get to play in that bucket too. So that's
Right,
cool.
yeah. Iowa, I think it was more so slanted towards the data centers. So four of the largest companies in the world have data centers in Iowa. So Microsoft, Facebook, um, Google, and then Apple's actually building a data center currently. So certainly slanted towards,
Oh,
economic growth there, jobs, and all that other good stuff. But it, works out very well. And those are there because we have a very, very competitive power cost. And yeah, it's great to see, continued adoption. Obviously, that's something we always love to see. And states talking about Bitcoin mining, that's fantastic. So yeah, each state is different. Some are definitely much more advantaged than other states for doing this, obviously. But yeah, very very happy with everything in Iowa.
I didn't know that about that. That's another thing I didn't know about Iowa is that you guys had such major data centers um, built out that, and those guys are massive. I mean, Bitcoin mining gets a lot of attention for its power consumption. I'm not kidding. I think Amazon has a growth trajectory like mapped out, and you can go read about it of a gigawatt a year for the next like 5 years. So I mean, they have just incredibly large growth plans in place. It's funny that we get, the attention. I think maybe it's the way we're talking about it. I think Bitcoin mining makes people kind of raise their eyebrows, but if you call it, a data center, that doesn't seem to get so much attention.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I think overall, Bitcoin mining maybe has that negative connotation associated with maybe like coal mining. It's emitting carbon or whatever it may be. But it's just a data center. That's all that it is. There's servers that are running 24/7 like any other data center.
Yeah, and the value prop to these power companies, which we've already talked about, is the load shedding and curtailment piece, which Amazon cannot afford to have anything less than 99.999% uptime.
Right.
It's like
Exactly.
hard stop. They've got huge backup
Yep.
generators. I mean, they have it all to keep themselves covered. So that's interesting. What I'd be curious to get your opinion on, you're having a lot of these conversations. You guys are growing and expanding your operations. What are your thoughts about power companies vertically integrating Bitcoin mining?
Yeah, another fairly common question that we get asked. I think you could start to see it. Exxon, Shell. You're hearing, they're using stranded gas in their operations, and then certainly they have pilots going, and and they're continuing to expand that. I think it's going to certainly continue to happen more and more, and it's going to be the more open-minded utility companies. I still think it's not going to be, large scale probably by any means next week or, next year. Those are things, especially with the capital expenditures involved. I mean, it's going to take a long time to sort through and, start to see some of the things come to fruition, especially at a large scale. Um, to get a board of advisors at a utility company to approve a capex for for a large scale Bitcoin mining site, in my opinion, is definitely going to be some time. It will happen and it's going to continue to grow, but I just don't think it's going to be like all of a sudden next week, tomorrow, every utility company is mining Bitcoin at a massive scale. It's going to take some time, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. The capital expense there is a big hurdle. I mean, these machines, even right now, super discounted. Let's say you can go buy miners right now for $20 a terahash. It depends, if you're getting them wholesale in bulk or if you're buying them, just a couple in a batch. But $20 a terahash, you're talking millions and millions of dollars if you want to spring up megawatt plus. So
Exactly. And then on top of it,
it's a lot.
you have the operations side of it, you have the repair side of it. I mean, the CapEx is just one of, a few major components. So that's why I think it's just, utilities company, it's their niche certainly is not mining Bitcoin. It does pair very well with what they're doing, but it's, you see, lots of different businesses have issues when they start, not staying in their lane. And
Yep.
that's why I think, there's going to be pilot programs, in these sorts of things, and, continue to hear more and more about it. But as far as, a really large scale, seeing every utility, having their own facility operating at a large scale is going to be, I think, quite some time.
Do you think it leads the way to maybe acquisitions?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I think
yeah.
I think that's going to be more and more as this continues to grow. Utility companies are going to see the opportunity. Shell and Exxon are very very large companies with lots and lots of resources, and I think that there'll be lots of opportunities there for acquisitions and all this. That's certainly not our direction. We're looking at continuing to grow and provide a great experience hosting and on the repair side of things. But no, certainly it's this industry overall. Bitcoin itself is still very very young, and it's gonna continue to grow, and there's gonna be lots of opportunity for the long haul.
Completely agree. Again, some of the conversations being had at these power companies is around vertical integration. How does that fit? Like you just said, you see it at Exxon, Shell. So the ball is already moving in that direction. Maybe just to switch gears a little bit here, Adam, you brought up, Simple Mining. You guys are looking to continue expanding and continue offering, hosting services for customers. Maybe just, this is to go way back in the conversation. I should have asked you at the open, give us maybe the elevator pitch for Simple Mining. Who are you guys? What do you do? How do you do it? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, we're a Bitcoin mining, hosting, sales, and repair company. We're looking to provide, just the best overall experience in hosting that you can have. So, our average uptime is over 98%, and we're able to do that with, the systems that we've built out, the repair side of things to keep your machines up and running. And with us, like I said, the big thing that we have is just under promise and over deliver. We're looking to provide just fantastic experience mining Bitcoin. So yeah, um, I think
Yeah,
that's my quick
you
pitch.
guys kind. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And I'll say it in the intro. So when I say this
Sure.
next part, just
Yeah.
so I like I said in the intro, I do have some equipment hosted with you guys, and I can't say enough good things about the services that you offer. It's really a white glove service if you want to have hardware plugged in. So I mean, start to finish, you can buy through you guys, have the machines then plugged in with you guys, and then you guys also offer the repair. I think what a lot of people who are looking to get into Bitcoin mining overlook is just those steps seem really easy for you guys because you're doing it already. But when you're trying to do it at your house, like, it's just such a different process when you're trying to do it yourself. And then, shit, if something goes wrong with the miner itself, good luck. I'll be the first to say I don't know how to repair anything on the boards, or I've got an S9 behind me here that doesn't work. I couldn't tell you how to fix that. So
Yeah. Well,
you guys really offer a cool service.
no, yeah, first off, really appreciate that. it's just something that we're really passionate about. We really want to provide just the best experience that you're going to have mining Bitcoin. Um, I think the repair side is something that really differentiates us, and it's something that's so critical for the uptime. If your miner's not running, it doesn't do any good. So I think that's something that really differentiates us. We have a great repair team, and we're able to knock out uh, our repair rate is like 98%. There's very, very few times that we can, not fix something. And typically, it's when, when something's gone really, really, really bad. So
Yeah.
we just really enjoy, having happy clients and Bitcoin miners running 24/7.
Yeah, and I would imagine that's leading to a lot of inquiry. Are you guys, I mean, even in this bear market, are you guys seeing a lot of interest
Yeah,
for people to get their stuff hosted?
yeah, we have. And it's been, I'd say a little bit surprising to a certain degree. You'd think during, you think bear market and the bottom of the bear market, it'd be just really, 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 really bad. And, it certainly hasn't been, um, from a price standpoint, it hasn't been overly thrilling. Everybody always wants new all-time highs, but to a certain degree, it's been a lot of fun continuing to build. It's been a little surprising seeing how much interest there's been in still hosting with us, because you start to see. Just in general, during the bull market, there's a lot of FOMO and a lot of new interest in mining, and during the bear market, most of that all goes away. So, yeah, we've been seeing a pretty good amount of interest in people who are just really, really, really passionate about Bitcoin, and that's what we're really passionate about. We're really passionate about Bitcoin. Spreading the good word about Bitcoin, and you know, that's it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned sentiment like that. So here I'm up in Minnesota in the Twin Cities, and we've got a couple we've got like a couple fairly established Bitcoin meetups, and then we have some that aren't quite as established, but there's quite a bit of people that are following the Telegram page for the notification. It's always like a good gauge on where we're at in the market when no one's showing up and when people are showing up. I mean, we just saw it. We just had one not that long ago, and the price had gone from 15 up to whatever we're at today, like the 23, 24 range. Ton of people showed
Yeah,
up, like huge interest. It's like, geez, we were just, yeah, people just waiting for some excitement in the space. It's really good to hear that you guys have that interest in your services for the period of time that we're in right now. I imagine it's only going to get crazier. Um,
yeah,
yeah. So to kind of keep going down that thread of like the Bitcoin mining hosting industry, have you spent a lot of time looking at your competition and what they're doing, just in terms of like how they go about their offering? And so to add context for why I asked that, I've had opportunities to tour quite a few facilities and different operations, and you see very different operations. Have you had a chance to see the landscape yourself?
yeah. I mean, I'd say we're certainly aware of competition, and we're just always looking to try and put our best foot forward and offer the best service and experience possible. Not something that we spend a ton of time on. We're just really focused on trying to make the improvements and improve our offering as much as we possibly can. In the last year, we've rolled out a lot of different things that I think are really beneficial. During the bear market, we offered a pause period. We weren't going to force anybody to operate unprofitable, if they didn't want to. So we offered a pause period there. Um, all miners purchased through us, whether they're new, used, or they're out of the warranty through the manufacturer. We offer a 12-month warranty on that, so we cover all repairs for the first 12 months of the miner purchase through us. So we're always trying to improve those things. The last thing we just recently introduced was precision billing. So it's all of the downtime, down to the minute is credited exactly. So you're only billed for when your machines are, running. So, um, we're looking to continue making those, value add, and things to improve, the experience mining Bitcoin. So, something that we pay attention to, but we're really just focused on really trying to improve our offering and offer a great experience and diamond operations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And kind of in line with that question was like, do you guys think that this industry will start to have like some industry standards that come about? So I mean, right now, again, the offering it's so wildly different everywhere you go. Some people let you come to, or some don't. Some don't offer repairs. You know, a lot of people are starting to move to that. Like, do you think you'll start to see just kind of some industry standards? And that's probably more a function of like a free and open market. Like, it's just to be competitive, you have to offer these things. Do you think we'll start to move towards that?
Yeah, 100%. It's you're going to see sort of a thinning of the herd slowly over time, and it's like you said, open markets may the best man win essentially. So you're going to start to see that, and you'll start to see, like you said, some sort of industry standards for just offerings for hosting companies, and I think that's gonna, just like anything else, gonna take a little bit of time. There's certainly a lot of different companies out there and a lot of different offerings, and those are gonna, essentially consolidate slowly over time. But yeah, it'll be great to see some good industry standards come out of this. We're really excited I think we're really excited to lead the way in the repair side of things. It's something that we're really passionate about, is repair. And just it's such a critical aspect that I think is, maybe not overlooked, but just not as it's something that
It's
you don't
overlooked.
know you need until you need it, and then
Yeah.
you need to have your machines running 24/7, and the repair is such a critical aspect to that, and the downtime. Okay, your machine has an issue. At our hosting facility, we get it to the repair facility, it's fixed within a day or two, and then back up and hashing, versus a process that could be, very easily a couple months if it's sent out to a different facility and then fixed and then sent back, and oh, it had issues again, and it has to be sent back again. So, yeah, I think, overall, just to wrap up on that, it's certainly going to take some time, but I think that, there'll be a lot of good things that'll, as this industry continues to mature, just like anything else, there'll be a lot of,
Yeah.
common practices, that you'll have to be able to execute at, or you're offering, it'll be tough to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are good points. I am also excited to see the industry continue to mature and, really start to pull together kind of those industry standards for, what people can expect out of a good hosting partner. Um, do you guys think moving forward, so actually, sorry, let me back that up. Could you maybe touch on who your existing customer base is? Do you guys really like to have customers who are, somewhere between 1 to 10 miners, or do you guys really want to move your customer mix to 50 to 100 miners, or do you want like institutional? You want, someone to come in and buy a full megawatt at a block? Could you maybe touch on who your customer is and how
Yeah.
you're thinking about
I
that?
mean, we have, kind of a mix of, our clients are kind of a mix of, what you just described there, and we don't have, we don't have like a particular client that we're looking to help. We're looking to really help anybody and everybody mine Bitcoin if they're interested. Our MLQ is one, and we have lots of clients that fund the machine, and we also have some pretty large scale clients as well. So we're looking to continue to expand, and offer a great service, to anybody who's looking to mine Bitcoin. Um, yeah, I don't, I think that's kind of where our focus is.
That's I appreciate that. That's good to hear. I'm curious about that just because, again, it's, as you look across the landscape, you see some people who they're very interested in like the network security and, we have to have a lot of distributed sites, and don't have the gigawatt sized infrastructure in one place, because that can lead to some attack, some big attack points. And then you've got other people who, well, they understand the scale. With scale comes efficiencies. So cool to hear your approach, that you guys are really looking to keep it open, keep the door open to everybody. Because, yeah, again, another barrier to entry is when you find out you have an MOQ of 10.
Right.
And again, these things cost $2,000+ a piece. An MOQ of 10, talking 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in just the hardware, let alone setting aside reserves and other stuff.
Right.
So it's cool to hear that you guys keep that open for the everyday guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's something that, it's been fun for us. We've had a lot of, clients who've been interested, and they start off with one just to get the hang of it, just to see. And that's something that's really cool to see, is someone get started with one machine and really, enjoy it, and have some, have good feedback for us, and then, watch them continue to add more machines over time. So we've always had, an MOQ of one, and I don't see that going away. So we're, something that we like to do. Just, we want to make Bitcoin mining, accessible to anybody who's interested.
And you guys are certainly allowing for that to happen. So that's awesome. So Adam, as we're kind of winding down the conversation here, one question that I like to always ask my guests is, from your opinion, in your opinion, what do you think that the power companies out there that are either saying no or are hesitant about having a Bitcoin miner on their grid, what might they be missing when they're getting approached about that and they're saying no?
Yeah, I think it's just like anything. You know, Innovation is going to continue to happen, and if you're a laggard in the space, certainly, if you're a utility company and you would have got started in working with different companies doing Bitcoin mining, who knows? Maybe in a few years you could have 100 megawatts running on your particular grid, and that'd be that'd be phenomenal for that particular utility company in a lot of different ways. So it's just like anything else. The sooner you get started, who knows what could happen. It could be something that would be very, very, very beneficial for their company for the long term. And it's it's just one of those things. You got to be open minded about it.
Great. I appreciate the opinion on that. But before we jump off, Adam, maybe if you could give, a handoff for our listeners, how can they get a hold of Simple Mining? Where can they find you? How can they get a hold of either you or your sales staff? Would love to just, leave it open for you to give a handoff to the listeners.
Yeah. You can find us on Twitter at SimpleMiningIO. Got a lot of great content that we post there pretty regularly. If you're interested in reaching out to our team and interested in mining Bitcoin, our website, simplemining.io. There's some information there, and a spot to schedule a call with one of your sales staff. So those are probably going to be the two best spots to reach out to us. A lot of great information on both of those. So, yeah, give us a follow. Reach out if you have any questions, and we'd be more than happy to help.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Adam, appreciate your time. Good to chat with you. Good to talk through all this. You take care.
Yeah. You as well, Ben. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks.